video was just stopped. I gotta figure something out with this phone, man. This shit is getting me mad, man. Like, fuck you stop my video for, man. Like, but I was talking about LeBron. I was just like, like just because he's up 3-0 against a depleted Rockets team, that don't make him the GOAT, man. Now he get through, like I said, OKC, you get through the West and these guys, and then, we can say, all right, we really did something great. But they just want to reward this cat for anything. Like I was saying, I'm believing in that MK Ultra shit. I think that the mind control out here is real. It's like whenever you watch these people who they are praising the most, they seem to like get infatuated with that person, like Trump supporters, man. And this is when I'm going to transition into Trump and some of the things going on with them, like his supporters, like some of them that are loyalists, like these Republicans and a lot of the Trump people, it's like a trance they're in. Same thing with LeBron fans. Like I had one kid, I had to like psychologically break him down with facts and evidence and talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to like work on his brain for him to be like, you know what, damn, make him really think, you're right. It took some months, but it finally came on to like I had to think about everything you said, man, you're right. This was about 6-7 years ago. So now, let's fast forward. Let's talk about, Donald Trump. And one thing I want to say is that, like I said, it's like a mind control thing with them people, man. Like they're like under the trance. The ones that aren't under the trance is the people that can actually have critical thinking, that can think. They're not controlled. They think, And what I want to say is this, man. I see a lot of people, sisters, brothers, a lot of people that are really angry at people like Candace Owens, or even like, Joe Rogan, all those, like, all right, boom. I'm not like all these people that supported Trump and are now like flipping on him, and some of them, all right, boom. People supported Trump for various reasons, right? When you look at who Kamala Harris was and what she was about, nothing about her was truthful. Like, she couldn't answer questions. Digging her past, everything was questionable. And, she just wasn't a favorable candidate. So I think a lot of people picked, like, they thought was the lesser of two evils. Whoever saw Trump in office the first time, he wasn't too bad. Yeah, he's a fucked up individual, character-wise, but, they felt like, hey, he may be better for the economy, because they thought about the economy and things like that. They thought about immigration. We got a lot of people that felt like they wanted a lot of immigrants out of here. Some people were racist, and they knew that, hey, we got Trump in office, we can get these colored people out of here. You had those type of people. You had, you had some people that, felt like, they were independents, or, Democrats that started leaning more towards him because they didn't like the direction the country was going with Biden and them. And, they didn't pick Trump. Some people didn't vote at all. Like me, I didn't vote. I didn't like either candidate. That's my right as an American to either vote or not vote. I don't care about parties. I care about who I believe is going to get the job done, or who is best suited to transition us into the next realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I looked at, when we look at people that voted for Trump, they voted for Trump for various reasons. Then you had and then you had this dude sweetening the pot, and when it released the Epstein files. We knew Epstein was a predator or whatever, but nobody knew it was this magnitude. And actually, that story wasn't really that big until Trump kept bringing it up. So you lined yourself up for that, Trump. And long story short, he broke a lot of his promises to people. Yeah, he's doing immigration. He came out firing. He was doing immigration. Yeah, we're gonna release the files. I told y'all, man, the people that he got behind him, people he's picking, I don't like it. Look at the Stephen Millers and all of that. Saying he put a lot of these racist people around him. His whole team is white. So that he's showing you what it is. Showed you that the last time, but I don't call him racist or none of that. I don't know what's in their heart, but he definitely has some race issues. But anyway, he's not doing what they wanted him to do. Economy is tanking, got us in endless wars, things he promised, he's just turned left. And the Republicans are shameful people, man. And I don't know how they get any votes ever again. You need to vote every last one of the people out, because they'll sit there and go on TV and lie and repeat the same talking points that he's saying, but then the facts are stating otherwise. Everybody else is saying something, y'all saying one thing, and y'all trying to back him up, and then people that actually keep it honest is telling the truth, and none of it matches up. And you guys continue to gaslight people. We destroyed everything in Iran, so if you destroyed everything in Iran, how are they still fighting? How they got control of Hormuz? Oh, well, people just pay the gas prices. It's just tough. Man, you don't live for every day. Y'all niggas is good, man. Most of y'all is rich. Y'all ain't got to worry about what we got to worry about. Y'all not out here paying for gas, rent, and all that shit, and buying food. Y'all niggas is set, man. Everything is provided for y'all. So they tone deaf, and you start thinking about that MK Ultra, you start thinking about mind control, man. And it's like, are these people on the trenches, then you sitting there fighting for another foreign country? Like, come on, man, people see it, and when we point it out, they don't want to acknowledge it, they want to continue to push these talking points, and it's just disgraceful, man. They still, now they talking about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. You're talking about more funding, and some of the Democrats are complicit with it too. It's like brainwash, man. Same thing like I was talking about with the LeBron fans, brainwash. You know what I'm saying? But then you got the people that are pissed off, right? At the ones that see, like the Candace Owens. We're just gonna like Tucker Carlson. These are people who say they're Christian, right? And what they're saying is, hey, look, I made a mistake voting for this guy. They see the atrocities going on in Gaza and stuff like that, the support that our government is giving them. And they see this, and they're like, damn, their conscience is kicking in. Maybe, I don't know, maybe their conscience is kicking in. That's what I'm thinking, and they're like, you know what? I've been wrong supporting this guy this time. I shouldn't have been supporting him. And I'm the problem. And you can hear Tucker Carlson say that. If they Candace Owens, she's coming around and she's like, yo, nah, you even got Nick, what's that boy named Nick Fuentes? But his motives is more like he's mad at Trump because Trump isn't doing a lot of the policies that are America first, and a lot of the racist policies that he wants. He feels like Trump's not focused on that. And we're gonna lose our country and all that. He starts piecing things together. So his motives like, all right, with him, because he has deals a lot of racism. With Candace and Tucker, they're more like, nah, we made a mistake. And others, have said the same thing. We even got Megyn Kelly, like, yo, starting to think about a lot of shit she's been saying and how she's been thinking. So people are like, hold on, man, maybe I've been being brainwashed by Trump, even though their views were like this before Trump. Trump just came out and said everything he said. And I feel like these people, they come to terms here. We've been had. A lot of my thoughts are wrong. My viewpoints might be wrong. Maybe, what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with people changing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. People make mistakes, people can change. God is all forgiving, most merciful. And if that was the case, then why let people out of prison if people can't change? Or you feel like somebody's one way, they gotta stay that way forever, or I don't want to see them again. And just lock people up and throw away the key. People shouldn't get sentenced. Prisoners shouldn't get. What if it's your kid, and your kid is out here running wild on the streets, and he gets locked up, whatever, and he serves his time, becomes an advocate for doing what's right and making positive decisions, and he's coming on like, look at Hocus Pocus. Look at I can look at myself, others, that made mistakes in the streets and paid, with it for it, and they become advocates, and you wouldn't even know that people run the streets and did what they did. So people deserve chances, man. Now, the people that you should cook on is people like Officer Tatum, like Sage Steels. These are the people that are hard-nosed. They still know how to believe. They still brainwashed. They still think that they're part of the Republican Party, like they're me. You know what I'm saying? They only using you, as we all know, because you're a black voice that speaks about the things that they can't really say without being viewed racist or without being viewed a certain way. So you are the shield. You on the front line for that. So they like you and they're gonna listen to you, they're gonna give you an audience, but it's the same thing as the Canelo fans. When you start talking about the brothers, the black fighters, the way they feel, and they're like, yeah, they're champion, and like we say, Mayweather just runs. That's how they feel. Because, they look at all black fighters running. That's how they think, right? Not knowing boxing, but that's what some of them think. And they're championing, because you're saying everything that I think. But it's not, you know what I'm saying? But then when you say something they don't like, or you stand against them, they're gonna show you who they really are, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Lauren Looms. If Candace Owens was still in line, Lauren Looms wouldn't be acting like that, calling her all these names, and you got Trump posting her as a crackhead and all this shit. Like, come on, man. Like, and you got people like, yeah, it's good for her and stuff like that. But it's like, yo, she changed. I don't know what she's gonna do in the future, but I'm just saying, for the most part, from what I've seen, you can tell she's trying to reinvent herself. And the whole point I'm trying to make is like, if we don't give people a chance, how do we grow as a nation? If people don't give me a chance, how would I even have kids? I wouldn't have had kids. My kids can grow up to be presidents, doctors, whatever, but I wouldn't have a chance to be able to raise my kids or even have kids if I didn't get a second chance. So that's my point, man. People deserve a chance. And it's not to say you gotta forgive and forget. You don't forget. You can forgive somebody and say, look, you made mistakes, all right, no problem. All right, that doesn't mean you forget what they did, but you can say, hey, look, these people, they made some mistakes, man. It's okay, man. Look, y'all admitting, at least they're admitting the errors of their ways. And they're saying, look, moving forward, that's not how I think. If they do that, what's the problem? Anyways, I ought to wrap this up, man. Many Face Publishing. I'll probably get back with y'all later, man. Peace.